The second month after losing my sight in a car accident, I accidentally overheard my boyfriend Noah Clark talking to someone else. Joy Reid is too clingy, especially after going blind. She can't be without me. I'm so annoyed by her clinging that I asked Wenju to pretend to be me and help take care of her for a few days. She didn't notice at all, for Wenju was his good friend. I pretended not to hear anything and left calmly. When I got home, the man gently hugged me from behind. Baby, where have you been? I miss you so much. Hearing Noah's voice, I even doubted if my ears were playing tricks on me. He seemed to be with friends, and during their casual chat, someone mentioned my name. Noah, Joy is blind after all. She can't see now. Are you really okay with leaving her alone at home? There's no other way. Noah's voice sounded somewhat frustrated. Who told her to be so clingy? Ever since I went blind, she's been clinging to me non-stop. If I leave even for a moment, she cries endlessly. So annoying. The sound of everyone's teasing reached my ears. She just likes you too much. Can't bear to be apart from you. Now that she's lost her sight, doesn't she have to hold on to you even tighter? Noah snorted coldly, his tone arrogant. But we can't spoil her too much. So I asked Wenju to pretend to be me and help take care of her for a few days. She didn't notice at all. Good, I can finally relax for a while. For Wenju, someone exclaimed in surprise. That young master is actually willing to help with this. After all, only Wenju's physique and voice are somewhat similar to mine. I had to beg him for a long time before he agreed, and I even promised him a condition. What condition? He didn't specify, just said he'd bring it up when the time comes. Noah paused, then said nonchalantly, but given his status, it's more likely we'd be the ones asking him for favors. So there's no need to worry about him making any unreasonable demands. After all, we're all brothers. After a moment, someone spoke up again. But, what if Joy finds out? Noah smirked dismissively. With Ju around, there's no problem. She's so foolish and blind, how could she possibly notice? Even if she does find out, just coax her a little. She loves me so much, she definitely wouldn't have the heart to leave me. Then came another burst of laughter. When the surroundings quieted down again, a woman's voice sounded in the air. All right, enough about those boring people and things. Today, you promised it's all about welcoming me back and celebrating. Don't ruin my fun, Missy. I recognized that voice. It was Noah's childhood friend, Shinjiyu. The only girl in their little group. Understood, young mistress, Noah said with doting affection. This jewelry store just released their designer's new collection. Pick anything you want today. It's on me. Shinjiyu's voice was coquettish. You know what's good for you. The sound of playful banter came through, and the others started egging them on, as if they were already used to this kind of scene. I say, Jiyu, stop messing with Noah. You ran off abroad alone before, then came back alone. One phone call and Noah got into a car accident. Now he's even leaving his girlfriend behind to be with you. You should stop being angry with him too. I stood outside the door, my limbs uncontrollably cold. Right from the start when Noah and I got together, I could clearly sense Shinjiyu's hostility towards me, but I didn't care. After all, I didn't have much affection for her, nor did I want to force my way into their circle, until 2 months ago, when I fell ill with a fever. Noah skipped Shinjiyu's carefully prepared birthday party to stay with me. She flew into a rage and, without telling anyone, secretly went abroad to unwind. Noah was worried sick for a long time, fearing something might happen to her alone in a foreign country. On the day of the car accident, Noah was driving me to work as usual. Midway, he answered a phone call, and the car lost control, crashing into the roadside guardrail. I hit my head as a result, and the bruise pressed against my optic nerve, causing temporary blindness. Even now, I haven't fully recovered. So on the day of the car accident, Noah answered a call from Shinjiyu, lost in thought. Shinjiyu's annoyed voice rang out again from inside. Serves him right. Who told him to abandon friends for love? How dare he skip my birthday? Someone spoke up to mediate. Noah didn't stand you up on purpose. Wasn't his girlfriend sick that day? TCH, Shinjiyu scoffed lightly. Who knows if she's really sick or just pretending? I could tell long ago that your girlfriend doesn't like me. It's nothing more than her knowing she can't compare to the bond we've had since childhood. So she's feeling uncomfortable about it, not sick any other time, but conveniently falls ill on my birthday, and even drags you along so you can't leave, clearly just trying to get under my skin. Only you clueless straight guys can't see through her schemes. Shinjiyu's tone sounded utterly confident. We grew up together. If there was really something between us, there would have been no room for Joy long ago. Noah, you know I'm not someone who just takes things lying down. But for your sake, I've endured a lot of joyous targeting. You'd better make it up to me, or don't expect my forgiveness. Shinjiu had always been like a little princess among them, and when she spoke, Noah naturally agreed. All right, from now on, my time is all yours, whatever you want to do. I'm all in, that's more like it. I stood by the door for a while, until the waiter came over and placed a velvet box in my palm. Miss Reed, the custom couple rings you ordered earlier have been packaged. Would you like anything else? I remained silent for a moment before placing the box into my bag. No, thank you, I left calmly, as if that conversation had never been heard from beginning to end. Returning home, the surroundings were somewhat quiet. I fumbled to open the shoe cabinet to change my shoes. Suddenly, my waist tightened as someone gently embraced me from behind. The warm, humid breath sprayed against the side of my neck as the man's deep, magnetic voice sounded in my ear. Baby, where have you been? I missed you so much. My body stiffened for a moment before quickly returning to normal. I went to the hospital for a follow-up today. The man's breathing hitched for a moment as he reached out to pull me by the shoulder, turning me to face him. Why didn't you tell me? We agreed I'd go with you. What if you got hurt or bumped into something alone? He began checking me for injuries as he spoke. I smiled and caught his slightly flustered hand. I'm fine. The driver took me there. Besides, I wanted to go out and adapt on my own anyway. I haven't gone out alone this whole month since losing my sight, perhaps sensing my coquettish tone. The man finally relaxed a little. What did the doctor say? I shook my head. The recovery is progressing rather slowly. His large hands cupped my face, and a gentle kiss landed on my eyelashes. Don't worry, I'm here, it will get better. I lied. Actually, the blood clot in my brain has mostly dissipated, although my vision hasn't fully recovered yet. At least I can now see some blurry outlines. I saw Hua Wenju bend down to open the shoe cabinet and take out a pair of bunny-eared slippers. Then he knelt down in front of me, reached out to grab my ankle, and helped me change my shoes. Blurred double vision filled my sight. Yet somehow, as his fingertips slowly traced over my ankle bone, I glimpsed from this slightly trembling motion a trace of fanatical devotion in his heart. I didn't understand Hua Wenju at all. All we know is that he comes from an extremely privileged background, with top-tier family connections. Even Noah, who claims to be a natural-born prodigy and calls him brother, can't help but tread carefully around him in daily interactions, even going so far as to curry favor. Previously, I had no real connection with Hua Wenju. I'd only seen him a few times at social gatherings. He always sits in the dim corner, declining all attempts at conversation, cold and taciturn, with an air of unapproachable aloofness. Yet whenever I turn around, our gazes inevitably collide. His pupils are deep and obscure, concealing unfathomable emotions, like a beast lurking in the shadows. Fixated on its prey, even when I noticed him, he didn't shy away, staring straight at me. I assumed he probably disliked me somewhat, consoling myself that it didn't matter. But now, it seems I was mistaken. Hua Wenju helped me change my shoes and then lifted me up by the waist. His physique is indeed very similar to Noah, but upon closer observation, he is slightly taller than Noah, and his arms are more solid and powerful. Hua Wenju carried me to the sofa, placed me down, then leaned in with his hands on either side of my thighs and kissed my cheek. Are you hungry? What would you like to eat? I thought about it. Pineapple chicken wings. Hua Wenju said okay. Got up to turn on the TV, tuned it to the music channel I often listened to, then headed to the kitchen to start cooking. Actually, there's a housekeeper at home, but whenever he's around, he always cooks personally. I should have noticed earlier. At first, I heard something different in his voice. But he just said it was a cold. I didn't suspect anything. But Noah was never a considerate person, and he had never stepped into the kitchen before. During the days he was hospitalized after the car accident, he would often disappear, nowhere to be found. But ever since he was discharged and came home, it's like he's glued to me. Because I couldn't see, I felt insecure. Every night, he would hold me to sleep, staying by my bedside. When I woke up from nightmares, he would wipe away my tears over and over again. He did everything himself, feeding me and doing my laundry. When I walked, he followed closely behind me, even waiting outside the bathroom door, afraid I might bump into something. He always loved to kiss me and call me baby, but after 6 months of dating, Noah had never called me that. Noah only calls me by my name, Joy. I thought he had changed his ways, or was trying to make up for the pain his blindness from the car accident had caused me. But the truth turned out to be that my boyfriend had been replaced by someone else. After dinner, I planned to take a shower. Wenju found me a change of clothes, filled the bathtub, and finally carried me into the bathroom. He was about to leave when I suddenly reached out and hooked my fingers around his. What's wrong? I pointed at my neck, the zipper on the dress. I can't reach it. Help me. In the silent space, I heard the sound of Wenju's throat moving. Millimeter. His voice was slightly hoarse. Okay. The zipper was pulled down to his shoulders, and Wenju paused. Is this okay? I shook my head. A bit further down. He obeyed and continued, his scorching fingertips brushing against my spine in the process, until the zipper was pulled down to my waist, exposing most of the skin on my back to Wenju's gaze. Behind me, his breathing began to quicken. I turned around, found his face by climbing up his arm, and then gently kissed his Adam's apple. Hearing a muffled groan as I wished, I pulled back satisfied. Just as I finished saying thank you, Wenju's lips eagerly chased after mine. Baby. His movements were a bit rough as he wrapped his arm around my waist, sucking and biting on my lips. I could clearly feel the change in his body. So I gently pushed him away during a brief pause to catch my breath. I need to take a shower. Wenju was feeling very uncomfortable at the moment, but he just looked at me for a while. Then raised his hand and gently touched my face, then obediently let go of me, restraining himself as he took a step back. Be careful, don't lock the door, call me if you need anything. I took a nice, relaxing bath. Just as I was about to open the bathroom door, I heard Wenju talking on the phone outside. Perhaps due to my blindness, my hearing has become exceptionally sharp. He was standing in the hallway outside the bathroom, though he deliberately lowered his voice. I could still catch fragments of the conversation from the other end of the line. Wenju, Joy hasn't noticed, right? It's Noah. No, that's good. She can't see now and feels insecure, always acting out. Please be patient with her. Millimeter. Thanks, bro. I'll treat you to a meal another day, alright? Noah was silent for a moment before adding, I've almost finished handling things on my end. In a couple more days, we can switch back. Wenju's tone was indifferent. No rush. Noah was still saying something. I wasn't in the mood to listen, reaching out to knock over the scented candle cup placed nearby. The sharp sound of shattering glass erupted at my feet, and the next second, the bathroom door was violently pushed open. Wenju rushed in with hurried steps. Not even having time to hang up the phone, he tossed his phone aside and reached out to embrace me. What's wrong? Are you hurt? I clung to his shoulders with both hands, my unfocused eyes brimming with mist. I'm scared, Aju. Wenju placed me securely on the bathroom counter, using his long legs to sweep the shattered glass fragments further away. His strong arms encircled my waist firmly. He lowered his head and gently kissed the corner of my eye where tears had trailed. It's okay, baby. I'm here. Don't be afraid. The next second, a roar came through the phone during the call. What are you doing? I shuddered all over, pretending to be startled. Ajo, who is it? Wenju's aura was a bit oppressive. He picked up the phone and hung up. Someone unimportant. The busy tone kept ringing in his ears. Noah stared at the disconnected call, frozen for a long moment. If he heard correctly just now, Wenju called Joy baby. How could that be? Strange emotions churned in his heart, restlessness, perhaps jealousy. Noah stood up agitatedly and began pacing back and forth in the room. Wenju must not know how he usually interacts with Joy, thinking all couples call each other baby. He only called her that to avoid blowing his cover. On the phone, their affectionate interaction was only because Joy didn't know the truth. That Noah she called out must have been referring to herself. Noah comforted himself. Yes. It must be so. After all, someone of Wenju's status and family background, how could he possibly be interested in an ordinary Joy? He must already be quite displeased to have stooped so low as to help with this. Noah let out a long sigh and sat down again. If Jiyu hadn't threatened to cut ties with him over the incident at the last birthday party, he wouldn't have come up with such a clumsy swap idea. Now that Jiyu had cooled off, it was time to find an opportunity to switch back with Wenju. No matter what, Joy had lost her sight accidentally because of him. He ought to be more patient with her. When he gets back this time, He must take good care of Joy, Noah thought to himself. Huo Wenju carried me into the bedroom, then went back to clean up the broken glass in the bathroom. After finishing all this, he poured another glass of water and sat by the bed, feeding me sip by sip. Does anywhere hurt? Although he had already checked me from head to toe just now, he still seemed a bit uneasy. I shook my head with a smile. No. With that, I fumbled to take out the velvet box from the bedside table drawer. In a few days, it will be our 200-day anniversary. This is a gift. The box opened, revealing 2 plain ring bands, one large and one small, lying quietly inside. The silence around us was almost overwhelming. I could even sense Huo Wenju's breath halting for 2 seconds. I've been preparing this gift for a long time. I went out alone today just to give you a surprise. I frowned, my unfocused eyes filled with grievance. Don't you like it? Huo Wenju immediately responded. No. He reached over to hug me, pressing his cheek against mine in a comforting nuzzle. Though his tone carried a hint of gritted teeth. I love everything you give me, baby. I smiled and took out the ring to put it on his finger, but got stuck halfway. Is it too small? I clearly had it custom-made to the measurements. Seeing that it wouldn't go on, Huo Wenju seemed to brighten up considerably. Maybe the craftsman got the size wrong. He quickly stuffed the ring back into its box. It's all right, I'll take it to be resized tomorrow. As he spoke, he tucked me back under the blanket, making sure the corners were snugly secured. Sleep, I'll watch over you. I obediently closed my eyes, pretending to sleep. I don't know how long it had been. Just as I was really about to fall asleep, I suddenly felt something warm and moist press against me. Huo Wenju kissed my forehead, cheeks, and the corners of my lips one by one, like a chick pecking at rice. His scorching fingertips lingered over my brows and eyes as if reluctant to part. After a long while, he stood up and walked to the trash bin by the bedroom door. By the dim glow of the bedside lamp, I vaguely saw his tall figure standing in the half-light, exuding an overwhelming presence. Huo Wenju scoffed lightly and tossed the box containing the couple's rings into the trash as if it were worthless. The next day, Huo Wenju pretended to go out to have the ring resized. Before leaving, he made sure to take out the bedroom trash. He had just left not long ago when Shen Jiu suddenly came knocking at my door. She came to invite me to a birthday celebration. Previously, Noah couldn't attend my birthday celebration because he was taking care of you, which he deeply regretted. So he decided to personally host a makeup celebration for me. Shen Jiu's tone was full of pride and satisfaction. Although I don't think it's necessary, but Noah insisted, and there's nothing I can do. You know how he is, sometimes just a bit stubborn. No one can talk him out of it. I sat on the sofa, slowly nibbling on the apple Huo Wenju had peeled for me before he left. Sorry, I can't see right now. Feel free to grab whatever you'd like to drink from the fridge. Shen Jiu patted her skirt and sat down across from me. I forgot you're blind now since you didn't mention it. She laughed. Actually, it's my fault. If I hadn't suddenly called Noah that day, he wouldn't have gotten so excited and caused the car accident. Don't worry, I've already scolded him for you. I didn't respond. Joy, don't overthink it. You know, I grew up with Noah since childhood. Before you came along, he was always very good to me and cared about me. After all, we've shared so many years of friendship. I blinked my eyes. Aren't you thirsty? Shen Jiu was left speechless. Joy, I know you don't like me, but for Noah's sake, I still hope you can come to my birthday party, because I know him well enough and don't want to put him in an awkward position between us. I nodded. Okay. Shen Jiu got angry, whoosh standing up abruptly, and stomped away in her high heels with a click-clack sound, slamming the door behind her. I followed to the door and heard her talking on the phone in the hallway, putting on a high-pitched voice. All right, she agreed. It hasn't been that long and you're already itching to go back. Calling you a friend who abandons pals for love isn't wrong at all. You can just switch back yourself. Why must you use my birthday party as an excuse? You're trying to annoy me too, aren't you, Noah? I came with good intentions to invite her, but she spoke with such sarcasm. Do you have any idea how hurt I feel? Fine, I'd like to see how you plan to make it up to me. I rolled my eyes and went back to the couch to continue munching on my apple. 3 days later, Shen Jiu's birthday banquet was held as scheduled at a private club. By the time I arrived, the private room was already bustling with activity. Everyone noticed me and crowded around, chattering greetings, only to fall silent the next moment when they spotted Huo Wenju behind me. The atmosphere grew somewhat awkward. I pretended not to notice, and Hua Wenju didn't seem to mind either. Leading me to sit on the sofa, he poured me a glass of water, which was a bit too hot, so he set the water aside and began feeding me pieces of fruit from the platter, one bite at a time, using a small fork. For a while, the private room was so quiet that the only sound was my chewing. Everyone was stunned. Wasn't it said that the young master of the Hua family reluctantly agreed to take care of Joy, but why does it seem like he's enjoying himself? This level of affection looks even more real than actual couples. I wish I were the one who couldn't see right now. Someone clicked their tongue. I have a bad feeling about this. We should go notify Noah. Soon, a figure darted out through the doorway. Seizing the moment, I suddenly grabbed Hua Wenchu's arm. Ju, I forgot to take my medicine today. The medicine is in my bag, and I think I left the bag in your car just now. Could you go get it for me? Hua Wenju frowned slightly, as if he wasn't comfortable leaving me alone here. Don't worry. I'll just sit here and won't move. Everyone will take care of me. Hua Wenju coldly raised his eyes, scanning the room. The crowd was intimidated by the authority in his gaze and quickly chimed in. Yes, Hua, Noah, with us around, Joy is very safe. Yes, everyone here is a close friend. We'll definitely take good care of her. Hua Wenju nodded, reached out to touch my cheek, and said softly, I'll be back soon. It wasn't until Hua Wenchu's figure disappeared from sight that everyone dared to gather around me. Someone waved a hand in front of my eyes, confirming that I truly couldn't see. Perhaps it was their first time seeing a blind person up close, and they were all somewhat curious. Joy, can you tell who I am? I thought for a moment. Zhongqi. Wow, that's amazing. You could actually tell. What about me? Can you guess me? Lian, and me, Lin Shuin. Another wave of exclamations. I knew I had guessed right. The you describe, I guess game had barely started when the door of the private room was suddenly pushed open from the outside. The surroundings instantly fell silent. Hua Wenju and Noah stood on either side of the doorway. I pretended not to know, my pupils unfocused as I looked ahead. What's the matter? Joy, your boyfriend is back. I stood up happily. Ajo, Noah looked delighted and stepped forward to pull me, but was stopped by Shinjiyu beside him. Joy, you just guessed who was who by their voices alone. That seems pretty impressive. How about we play a game then? What game? Shinjiyu wore a look of amusement. Guess which of these two by the door is your boyfriend? I heard someone gasp. No way, playing it this big. Given Joy's familiarity with Noah, recognizing him should be a piece of cake. Right, exactly, she likes Noah so much, how could she possibly mistake him? Everyone was talking over each other, some too impatient to wait for the spectacle, pulling me toward the door. Joy, I'm here, Noah spoke with an air of confidence. Certain that I had no choice but him, I followed the sound of his voice and walked in his direction. Noah's smile grew wider, his expression triumphant, as if declaring to everyone, see, she'll only choose me. I stopped 3 steps away from him. Noah's smile faltered. Joy, what's wrong with you? I ignored him and turned to face the other direction. Azu, why didn't you call me? Hua Wenchu's tightly clenched fist suddenly relaxed. He looked up, seemingly unable to believe I was speaking to him. Noah panicked instantly. Joy, who are you calling? I'm right here. Come over quickly. As if I hadn't heard, I reached out uneasily into the air, searching. Ju, I'm scared. The next second, my empty palm found solid ground. Hua Wenju gently pulled me into his embrace, his voice tender. Don't be afraid. I'm here. The private room was so quiet you could hear a pin drop. After a long silence, someone finally spoke up with a trembling voice. We're done for now. Even Shinjiyu hadn't anticipated this scene. She glanced at the gloomy-faced Noah beside her and forced a smile. Joy, do you have any idea what you're doing? I ignored her and gently shook Hua Wenchu's arm. Ju, I'm tired. Let's go home. Hua Wenju took my hand and said, okay. Just as we reached the door, someone suddenly grabbed my wrist. Noah looked as dark as a storm cloud, gritting his teeth as he spoke. Joy, you've mistaken me for someone else. I'm your boyfriend, Noah. As he spoke, he glanced at Hua Wenju. Bro, my girlfriend is blind and mistook you for someone else. Don't tease her. Noah tightened his grip, trying to pull me to his side. Let's go, Joy. I'll take you home. I quickly broke free, taking a step back in slight disgust and shrinking into Hua Wenchu's embrace. Ju, your friend really knows how to joke. How could I possibly not recognize my own boyfriend? Noah was completely panicked now. Joy, don't scare me like this. You could recognize them. How could you not recognize my voice? Stop joking around. Come home with me. Okay. As he spoke, he reached out to pull me again, but was stopped by Hua Wenju. You've offended my girlfriend. Noah laughed in extreme anger. What do you mean, your girlfriend? Huanzu. Aren't you going to explain? I treat you like a brother, and you fucking steal from me. Have you been waiting for this day all along? Hua Wenju didn't argue back, just gave him a cold glance. What gave you the illusion that you could talk to me like this? Perhaps recalling Hua Wenju's family background, Noah turned pale with anger, momentarily speechless. If I remember correctly, when you begged for my help, you promised me one condition. Now it's time to fulfill it, that is, get the hell away from me. If you dare bother my girlfriend again, Clark family's business in the capital won't be operating anymore. With those words, ignoring the trembling crowd in the private room, Hua Wenju took my hand and strode out. Not far away, behind me came Noah's furious roar, along with the piercing sound of shattering glass. Security personnel rushed past me in a panic, saying someone had suddenly gone mad and smashed the private room. The journey back was silent. Returning home, I sat on the sofa with an expressionless face. Hua Wenju stood before me. He looked like a child who had done something wrong, awaiting parental judgment. His towering height of 187 meters now seemed awkward and uneasy. Why aren't you saying anything? I asked. Can you see now? I nodded. Hua Wenju fell silent again. I snorted coldly. If you have nothing to say, then leave. Hua Wenju immediately crouched down, his slender fingers carefully hooking onto mine. I'm sorry, baby. I was wrong. Don't be angry. Seeing that I didn't pull away, he grew bolder and moved a little closer to me, changing from hooking to holding my hand. Why didn't you call me when they asked me to identify someone earlier? Hua Wenju lowered his head, looking pitiful. I know you can see now. I thought you would choose him. Then if I really choose him, you won't do anything. Hua Wenju remained silent, just when I thought this was his silent agreement. He suddenly spoke up. No, his eyes darkened, as if merely imagining that scene was unbearable for him. I would take you by force. I will take you back. I just fear you might hate me. Is that so? I stared at him. You didn't seem all that scared when you were kissing and hugging me while I couldn't see. Hearing this, Hua Wenju actually let out a sigh of relief. He looked up at me, his eyes filled with unmistakable possessiveness. Baby, dump him and be with me instead. I frowned. Hua Wenju, you're pushing your luck. Hua Wenju nodded frankly. I'm pushing my luck, insatiably greedy. I'm despicable. I'm guilty. But baby, I'm really glad you didn't choose him. Hua Wenju slowly stood up, his knee brushing lightly against me through the fabric. Whether intentionally or not, he leaned down, placing his hands on either side of the sofa backrest, trapping me between his arms. His scorching breath drew closer and closer, followed by a butterfly-like kiss landing on my cheek. Hua Wenju smiled, pressing his cheek against the spot where he had just kissed me, nuzzling affectionately like a puppy. Baby, be with me. Okay. Rarely did I detect a hint of coquetry in his tone. Please, baby, even though I haven't agreed to him yet. He's already calling me baby so smoothly. I frowned and turned my head. We'll talk later. I'm still very angry now. Then punish me. Hua Wenju took my hand and pressed it against his face, still with that clingy demeanor. As long as it makes the baby stop being angry, punish me however you want. Just as I was about to speak, a sudden, violent banging on the door erupted from outside. Joy, open the door, it's Noah. Noah was pounding on the door with both hands while continuously shouting my name. I'm sorry, I lied to you. The person who took care of you this past month wasn't me. It was Hua Wenju. I just asked him for a favor, but I never expected he had ulterior motives and crossed the line with you. He's had his eye on you for a long time, just waiting to steal you away from me. Joy, don't let him deceive you. I moved slightly. Hua Wenju thought I was going to open the door and quickly pulled me into a tight embrace, pressing his forehead against my neck, his voice muffled. Don't go, you're not allowed to, I said. He'll disturb the neighbors like this. Hua Wenju played dumb. Then let the neighbors call the police to take him away. Noah was still shouting outside the door. Joy, can you open the door and let me in? I know I was wrong. I apologize to you. Let's settle our matters between ourselves. Don't fall for Hua Wenju's tricks. He's not a good man. Hearing this, Huo Wenju let out a cold snort. He lowered his head, gently covering my ears with his hands to shield me from the noise outside the door. He leaned in, placing light, feathery kisses one after another on my cheeks and the corners of my lips. Finally, he looked into my eyes. Baby, look at me. Don't pay attention to him. Huo Wenju's body temperature was high, enveloping me in warmth. The scalding heat where our skin touched left me feeling dizzy and disoriented. Outside the door, Noah was still saying something, but I could barely hear it anymore. Huo Wenju lifted me by the waist and carried me into the bedroom. A blazing kiss descended like a storm. His movements gentle yet carrying an undeniable dominance that left me breathless and overwhelmed. My mind went blank, and I instinctively reached out to push him away. Huo Wenju released me, giving me a chance to catch my breath, but he didn't stop. His lips and teeth slowly moved to my ear, his tongue teasing and nibbling at my earlobe. Baby, you still haven't said how you're going to punish me. Huo Wenju's voice was hoarse, laced with rising desire. Seeing that I was already dazed and unable to think clearly, he chuckled and began unbuttoning his clothes. If you can't figure it out, I'll use my own method. Huo Wenju intertwined his fingers with mine, and after a moment, he suddenly lifted my hand to examine it closely. I only just noticed that he had slipped a ring onto my middle finger at some point. The size was perfect, with a beautifully cut pink diamond at its center. On his hand, he wore a plain band of the same design. It's beautiful. Huo Wenju's lips descended upon mine again. The tall bridge of his nose lightly grazed across the abdomen. At the moment fireworks exploded in my mind, I uncontrollably reached out and grasped his hair. Under the moonlight, diamonds shimmered with a faint pink glow amidst his hair. Huo Wenju lifted his head, his lips glistening with moisture. The night was incredibly long. It wasn't until I was jostled to the point of exhaustion and nearly fainted that I belatedly realized. That bastard Huo Wenju, how was this punishing him? It was clearly a reward. The next day, I slept in until the sun was high in the sky. When I woke up, Huo Wenju was sitting by the bed, propping his head up with his hand. Seeing me open my eyes, he first handed me a glass of water. After I finished drinking, he happily reached out to hug me, nuzzling and kissing me. Are you hungry? I've made food, all your favorites. I was just about to scold him when my stomach betrayed me with an audible growl. Forget it, let's fill my stomach first. After the meal, Huo Wenju accompanied me to the hospital for a follow-up appointment. As soon as I opened the door, I was startled by Noah in the hallway. He huddled by the wall, his shirt crumpled into a mess, his appearance gaunt, with deep hollows under his eyes and bloodshot whites. Last night, he kept banging on the door, disturbing the neighbors, who threatened to call the police. After that, it went quiet outside. I thought he had left, but I never expected him to stay in the hallway all night like this. Hearing the sound of the door opening, Noah suddenly rushed forward, but before he could reach me, a strong arm reached out from behind and pushed him away. Huo Wenju held a trash bag in one hand and pulled me behind him with the other. Baby, be careful, there's a beggar. Noah was furious. Huo Wenju, stay away from her. After all, I considered you a brother, and I never thought you'd be this kind of person. What did you do to her last night? Oh, it's you. Huo Wenju's voice was calm. What a question. What else would a couple do? As for you, it seems everything I told you yesterday went in one ear and out the other. Noah clenched his fists and looked at me. What conditions? Forgive me, please. I swear, I'll treat you 10 times, 100 times better from now on. Don't believe Huo Wenju's words. Don't be with him. Give me a chance. Let me make it up to you. Okay. I looked at him coldly. Noah, there's no chance left. Who I'm with is none of your business. Don't ever show up in front of me again. You disgust me. Noah looked utterly incredulous. Joy, remember, I was the one who dumped you. With that, I didn't spare him another glance and walked past him toward the elevator. In the following days, Noah persistently waited outside my apartment building, rain or shine. During the day, Huo Wenju deliberately came to the balcony to hang my laundry. At night, Huo Wenju held me by the window and kissed me again. The light casting our intimate silhouettes onto the curtains, I didn't know whether to laugh or cry. You're so childish. Huo Wenju snorted softly and lowered his head to gently bite my shoulder. Noah went crazy, constantly calling me, sending messages, and even came to bang on the door. I never get tired of it. On the third day, Noah suddenly disappeared. I didn't pay it any mind, even feeling relieved to finally be rid of that clingy nuisance. It wasn't until a month later that I learned from a friend the Clark and Shen families had gone bankrupt. Shen Jiu came to my door wanting to apologize, but I didn't see her. Noah disappeared without a trace. And I only heard that his entire family had already moved away from the capital. Late one night, long after, I received a call from an unknown number. I said hello twice, but there was no response from the other end. Stopped by me. Huo Wenju looked at me with a dissatisfied expression before glancing at the caller ID. His eyes darkened as his large hand pinned my wrist above my head, sealing my lips with a passionate kiss. Baby, focus a little more, with that. Huo Wenju reached out to hang up the phone for me, his movements becoming even more intense than before. Thank you for watching today's story. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below, so feel free to share your opinions. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more great stories. We'll see you in the next video.